have two things really to say. Well, one's a question, though, another one's a statement.
Okay.
So they go along. What about receipts on like dinner dates, budgets, and stuff like that? How would you go about documenting?
My tax form is just like everybody else, and there's no additional burden that otherwise comes on you on April 15th when you realize, crap, I didn't pay a single penny in tax last year. That's a bad place to be. I'm not speaking from experience.
When you do make over a certain dollar threshold, I think it's $100,000 a year, you have to pay estimated payments quarterly, and if you don't, there can be penalties, as you mentioned. So I mean,
that's a lot of small businesses going not dealing.
The IRS wants money; they'd like to have it. They will find ways to get it. Just going through a payroll company is probably the smart bet.
Yeah. Could you comment on just maybe the important factors to consider in deciding whether to hire someone as a full-time employee versus hiring them as a on a contract basis?
Well, you have a W-2 employee, which is your full-time, and then 1099 employees, which is your contract. I think you can only keep a 1099 employee for a certain amount of time. I think it's a year. I'm not sure. But I mean, if you want to keep somebody on W-2, is probably the best way to go. You have to report their taxes and everything, and I mean, you're going to have additional payroll costs that go with it, as opposed to 1099, because the 1099 employee will have to pay their own taxes by themselves. But maybe the smaller companies that won't need people for a while, you keep the 1099 employees, and if you're a small company, you're going to keep somebody for a while, you want to do W-2. But they'll come after you if they find out you're compliant.
And legally, there's all kinds of differences too, in how what you can do, what you can't do, how you have to treat them, how you have to pay them. So there are pros and cons to both, and it really does depend on your individual company.
Did you have another question?
You say that you can only keep a 1099 for a certain amount of time, but can you renew that time? Like you say, maybe the contract actually probably ends after 1 year, maximum time. So after that 1 year, can you hire them again?
I mean, you can hire them as a W-2 employee. It's just that it's frowned upon to keep somebody on as a 1099. I mean, eventually that person's probably going to get fed up and want to leave anyway because they're not getting health benefits.
Do people do that? Yes. But that's again where when I said earlier the question of are they an employee or a contractor and all the issues that you have to adjust for the work for hire question, all of that comes into play in all of the employment questions too. If they were to go seek unemployment from you, you had them as a 1099 employee for 6 years, you're going to say, I don't know any unemployment because they're a 1099 employee. And they're going to say, no, I worked for you for 6 years. I showed up at 8 o'clock. I went home at 5. I did the job you told me to do. The law's going to say you're an employee. I mean, the question of a contractor versus W-2 employee gets a little shaky the more you treat them like an employee.
That makes sense.
I guess we're done?
We have a lot of stuff to give away.
Yeah, we do. So, I don't know how you want to give that out. Anybody have any suggestions? Person comes with suggestions.
Just throw it out.
That might work great for that.
Trivia question.
Yeah.
All right, trivia. Here's some trivia. Trivia.
Do it. Well, you got to raise your hand.
Yeah, raise your hand. First, all right.
I think they got this.
What's the name of the person who receives all your important corporate mail? Registered agent gets artist management. All right, your turn. Look at something that's not on your PowerPoint page right now. What's Jessica's phone number? All right. Why should you reconcile your bank statements?
So that all your books stay in balance, keeps your records all in hand, so when you file it, keeps the accountant's job easy, bank's job easy. Everyone goes home happy at the end of the day.
That sounds good to me. All right.
What is that?
Character mentor.
What's the score in 42? Let's do 42.
What's it say on page 71?
Blue.
Let's see. What's the one? thought of 2. You think of 1.
Okay.
Think
What
of
are
Angie.
projections used for?
What?
Projections and forecasts. I saw your hand up first.
Okay.
Well, for estimating your costs and potential income over the following.
Okay. That was
All right.
They made a tangent.
What's an NDA and why do you need it?
Non-disclosure agreement to protect artist right, copyright rights, and also figuring out like intellectual property, like who owns it.
Very close. We have a better answer? Let's see.
What was the question?
Red shirt back there. What's an NDA and why do you need it? Protect the what?
The IP.
From what?
From
Well, we'll go with that. From disclosures. There we go. Are there 2?
There are 2.
All right. Well, then unfold that and let's take another one. But there's only 1.
They roll into each other.
Yeah, I rolled into each other, sorry.
All right. One more.
And you have to look at it at a distance.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh, yeah.
She's noticed. Awesome.
Is that roll?
Yeah. Oh, you have a question?
Yeah. What terms should you avoid in contracts?
Well, that's a good one. What terms should you avoid in contracts?
Oh, best efforts.
Best efforts. There we go. All right. Yes. You get a hat for the question. You want black or white? All right. Pass this one back to him. And then the other 2. There. All right. If you have any other questions, ask us. We'll be around for a little bit and can address these specific issues. Last thing before you leave, remember that this was very, very, very high level information. All we kind of gave you were a bunch of words to think about. We're going to define anything for you. So this is not a substitute for seeing your own professional accountant.
Well, I appreciate it. That was good.
Separation between the 2 in my mind. Separation between the 2 in my mind.
So